a courtroom in absolute ruins, a father paralyzed in shock, and a legacy shattered in 60 seconds of pure, unhinged fury. Breaking news! The king has officially lost his crown and his mind. The moment Judge Sarah Jenkins uttered the words "bail permanently denied," Clifford King Harris III didn't just break down. He exploded. We're talking a full-scale physical assault, security guards blindsided, and a brutal betrayal that has left T.I. speechless in the gallery. Tonight, we have the leaked details the media is terrified to show you. Did King Harris just threaten a federal judge? And what did he scream at his mother, Tiny, as they dragged him away in chains? Stay right where you are, because the final twist in this courtroom massacre is a dark revelation that will change the Harris family forever. The world of hip-hop has seen its fair share of downfalls, but nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to the slow-motion car crash that is the life of King Harris. For years, we've watched this young man flirt with disaster, fueled by a dangerous cocktail of extreme privilege and a desperate need for street validation. But today, the game ended. The high-speed chase through the legal system finally hit a brick wall, and the aftermath is more toxic than anyone predicted. To understand why King Harris went nuclear on a federal judge today, you have to understand the boiling pot of tension that has been simmering inside the Harris household for over a decade. King Harris wasn't born into the struggle. He was born into the solution. As the son of Clifford T.I. Harris and Tamika Tiny Harris, King grew up in the kind of luxury most of his peers in Atlanta could only dream of. We're talking about private jets, gated mansions, and a family name that carries the weight of a multi-platinum empire. But while his siblings, like Domani and Messiah, chose the path of music and quiet ambition, King chose the path of chaos. He didn't want to be the prince of the Harris empire. He wanted to be a general of the streets. The warning signs were flashing in neon red for years. Remember 2022? The infamous Waffle House incident that went viral for all the wrong reasons. A 17-year-old King Harris, surrounded by high-end security and flashing stacks of cash, berating minimum wage service workers over pickles. That wasn't just a spoiled brat moment. That was a glimpse into a deep-seated rage. He jumped onto the counter, threatened to pistol whip a cook, and broadcasted the entire thing on Instagram Live like it was a badge of honor. That was the first time the public asked, where are his parents? T.I. tried to play the role of the stern mentor, famously stating on his podcast that he knew that energy and warned King that his ass was going to prison. But behind the scenes, insider reports suggest a much darker dynamic. Leaked memos from family associates describe a home life that was a constant battlefield. King didn't just disagree with his father. He resented him. He felt T.I. was a fake who had traded his street cred for Hollywood lights, and King was determined to prove he was more real than the man who raised him. This internal war spilled over into the public eye repeatedly. Who could forget the 2023 explosion at the Atlanta Falcons game? In the middle of a VIP suite, King Harris got into a physical altercation with both of his parents, live streaming the struggle as T.I. desperately tried to put his son in a headlock to quiet him down. King was screaming about not being a silver spoon kid, claiming he was raised in the bando by his grandmother. It was a delusional narrative, but to King, it was his truth. He was a young man addicted to a lifestyle he never had to live, and that addiction eventually led him to the one place T.I. feared most, the back of a patrol car. By the time 2025 rolled around, the legal charges were stacking up like a deck of cards. DUI of drugs, driving on a suspended license, possession of illegal firearms, and multiple counts of obstruction. Every time he bonded out, he went back to social media to taunt the authorities, calling himself untouchable. But the Harris luck was running dry. His latest arrest in late 2025 wasn't just another traffic stop. It was a coordinated sting that uncovered a trail of evidence linking King to activities that even T.I.'s expensive legal team couldn't sweep under the rug. The tension between father and son reached a breaking point last month when T.I. reportedly cut off King's access to the family's main legal fund, telling him, "If you want to play a man's game, you're going to do a man's time." King's response? A series of deleted Instagram stories calling his father a snitch and a sellout. This is the backdrop of today's courtroom massacre. A father who has given up, a mother caught in the middle, and a son who truly believed that because his name is Harris, he could never be broken. The stage was set, the judge was fed up, and the world was watching. But no one, not even the most seasoned legal analysts, was prepared for the moment King Harris realized that for the first time in his 21 years, the word no was final. And when that realization hit, the explosion was so violent, it left the entire city of Atlanta in a state of absolute shock. The air inside courtroom 4C was thick with a kind of tension that makes your skin crawl. This wasn't just another routine hearing, this was the final bail application. Outside the building, the paparazzi were in a feeding frenzy, but inside, the silence was deafening. T.I. sat in the third row, dressed in a sharp charcoal suit, his face a mask of stoic pain. Next to him, Tiny was visibly shaking, her hands clutching a designer tissue as she whispered prayers under her breath. And then there was King. King Harris was led into the room in shackles. The metallic clink-clink of the chains echoing off the marble walls felt like a funeral march. He didn't look like the confident, trash-talking rapper we see on Instagram. He looked agitated. His eyes were darting around the room, searching for a sign, searching for the out he always assumed would be there. He gave his mother a small, shaky nod, but he wouldn't even look at T.I. The resentment between father and son was so thick you could cut it with a knife. The prosecution started their opening with a surgical precision that signaled trouble. They didn't just talk about the recent arrest, they brought up the pattern of defiance. But then, the lead prosecutor leaned in toward the judge and said, "Your Honor, we have new evidence that was recovered from a cloud sync device just 3 hours ago." The room went cold. King's lawyer tried to object, but the judge, a woman known for her no-nonsense iron fist, overruled it instantly. The leaked audio suddenly, a recording filled the courtroom speakers. It wasn't a music track. It was a leaked, private conversation between King and an unidentified associate, recorded just 48 hours after his arrest. In the audio, King's voice is clear, arrogant, and dripping with contempt. "Man, F*** this judge." King was heard saying, "My pop's already got the bag ready. We're gonna grease the wheels. She's a nobody. I'll be back in the VIP by Friday night. Nobody locks up a Harris in the city." The silence that followed that audio was soul-crushing. T.I. buried his face in his hands. Tiny gasped, audible to everyone in the room. The judge's expression shifted from professional neutrality to a cold, hard stare that spelled certain doom. King's face went from pale to a deep, embarrassed crimson. He had been caught in the ultimate lie, arrogance caught on tape. Judge Sarah Jenkins didn't wait. She didn't even consult her notes. She banged the gavel once, a sound like a gunshot, and looked King Harris directly in the eyes. "Mr. Harris," she began, her voice trembling with a controlled fury, "you have treated this court like a reality show set. You have treated the laws of the state like suggestions. And now, you have insulted the integrity of this bench. Bail is not just denied today. Bail is permanently revoked. You will remain in custody until your trial date." The explosion that was the moment the king died and the monster took over. King Harris didn't just react. He suffered a total, unhinged psychotic break. He lunged forward, the chains on his wrists snapping taut against the mahogany table. "You're a liar," he screamed, his voice cracking with a mixture of panic and rage. "You're only doing this because of my dad. You hate US. The whole system is rigged." The court stenographer jumped back in terror as King started thrashing. He tried to vault over the defense table, his eyes wide and bloodshot. 2 bailiffs instantly grabbed his arms, but King was possessed by a kind of maniacal strength you only see in movies. He kicked back, catching one officer in the shins, and continued to howl. "T.I. do something," King screamed, turning his head toward his father. "Tell them who we are. Don't just sit there like a coward." T.I. stood up, his voice cracking as he yelled, "King, sit down. Shut your mouth, boy." But King was too far gone. He turned his vitriol toward his mother. "And you said I was untouchable. You lied to me. You all lied." The judge was frantically banging her gavel, calling for order, order, but the courtroom was in a state of absolute anarchy. 3 more security guards rushed in from the side doors. They had to use a compliance hold just to get King to the ground. The sound of King Harris hitting the floor, screaming and sobbing simultaneously, was broadcast through the court's open microphones. But as the guards were dragging him toward the holding cell door, King did something that changed the entire narrative of this case. He stopped fighting for a split second, looked directly at the prosecution's table, and spat at the lead prosecutor. Then, he looked at the cameras in the back of the room and uttered a sentence that sent shockwaves through the legal world. If I'm going down, I'm taking the whole family empire with me. I know where the bodies are buried, and I'm calling the feds tonight. The room went into a total blackout of shock. Did King Harris just threaten to snitch on his own father? Did he just imply that the Harris family legacy is built on a foundation of crimes that the public knows nothing about? The first twist wasn't just about bail. It was the declaration of a war that could end in T.I. himself facing federal charges. As the heavy steel doors slammed shut behind King Harris, the last thing anyone heard was his muffled scream. "It's over for all of you." Tiny collapsed into her seat, sobbing uncontrollably. T.I. walked out of the side exit without a word to the press, his security team pushing through the crowd like they were escaping a war zone. This wasn't just a bail hearing anymore. This was the start of a scorched earth betrayal that could dismantle everything the Harris family has built over the last 30 years. But wait, if King Harris is ready to talk to the feds, what exactly does he know? And who is that unidentified associate on the phone who recorded him in the first place? Leaked documents suggest that the person who set King up might be someone much closer to home than anyone suspects. Only 2 hours after that catastrophic courtroom collapse, the city of Atlanta wasn't just talking, it was trembling. King Harris had been hauled off to a high-security isolation unit, but instead of cooling down, the fire inside him was morphing into a calculated nuclear strike. Our exclusive insider sources within the facility have just confirmed a move so cold, it makes the Arctic look like a summer day. King Harris didn't just call his lawyer. He bypassed his entire legal team to make a phone call that has effectively signed T.I.'s professional death warrant. But first, look at the digital bloodbath unfolding outside. On X and Instagram, the hashtags #KingHarrisSnitch and #HarrisEmpireFalling are moving at a speed that is breaking the algorithm. The world was waiting for a statement from Grand Hustle, but instead, they got a leak from an anonymous burner account that has left everyone paralyzed. We're talking about a series of time-stamped private messages allegedly sent by King just days before his final hearing. In one message, King writes, "If Pops don't get me out this time, I'm opening the vault. I got the receipts that'll put the King of the South in a cage for a decade. I ain't going out like a sucker." The Forbidden Alliance, the world was shocked, but the real escalation happened behind the reinforced steel doors of the county jail. We have received a report, verified by 2 separate sources, that King Harris reached out to the one man T.I. despises more than anyone else on this planet, 50 Cent's legal powerhouse. This isn't just a beef anymore. This is a tactical alliance. King is reportedly offering insider intelligence on T.I.'s private business dealings in exchange for a high-level defense team that doesn't answer to his father. But the reveal that is truly stopping hearts? It's the note from the cell. A handwritten letter, allegedly smuggled out by a sympathetic guard, has surfaced. In this letter, King doesn't just vent, he lists. He lists specific dates, specific warehouse locations in Bankhead, and specific offshore accounts tied to unlicensed transactions that T.I. thought were buried under 10 feet of concrete years ago. King is literally handing the feds a roadmap to the Harris family's secret ledger. The snitch T-shirt secret, remember that disrespectful T-shirt King wore with 50 Cent's late mother on it? Everyone thought it was just a low-blow diss. But the shocking reveal we've uncovered is that the shirt was a signal. Insider reports suggest King has been in secret negotiations with the G-Unit camp for over 6 months. He wasn't just trolling. He was a double agent inside his own house, gathering dirt on his father's retirement moves and the true origins of the Grand Hustle funds. When T.I. was informed of this betrayal this afternoon, The reaction was so violent that security at the Harris estate had to be quadrupled. Sources say T.I. has officially excommunicated his son. He has reportedly instructed his accountants to freeze every single asset tied to King's name and told his legal team to stand down. He wants to be a man of the streets? Let the streets feed him, T.I. reportedly told an associate. The ultimate cliffhanger, but here is the cliffhanger that has the entire industry on edge. King Harris has reportedly recorded a pre-trial manifesto that is set to auto-release on a private server if he isn't granted a second emergency hearing. This manifesto doesn't just target T.I., it targets the whole family. King claims to have video evidence of domestic orchestration, alleging that the reality TV image we've loved for years was a carefully constructed lie to cover up a toxic environment that would make most fans sick to their stomachs. As we speak, a fleet of black SUVs belonging to a federal task force has been spotted idling just 2 blocks away from the T.I. estate. Are they waiting for the final word from King Harris? And who is the vulnerable family member King claims is ready to testify alongside him? Rumors are swirling that it's not an outsider, but someone who shares the Harris bloodline, someone who's been silent for too long. The countdown has begun. T.I. is backed into a corner, King is armed with secrets, and the federal hammer is about to drop. The question isn't if the empire falls, it's who survives the explosion. The moment the steel doors slammed shut behind King Harris, the digital world didn't just react, it ignited. We are witnessing a total digital civil war in April 2026, and the battle lines are drawn right through the heart of Atlanta. As the hashtags Harris Dynasty down and hashtag freaking battle for dominance on X, the most shocking blow came from the South Side prophet himself, 50 Cent. 50 Cent's deadly move within 30 minutes of the bail-denied verdict. 50 Cent did what he does best. He turned tragedy into a viral masterpiece. He didn't just post a meme. He dropped a bombshell that confirmed everything we feared. Curtis Jackson took to Instagram, posting a screenshot of a legal document allegedly titled Witness Cooperation Agreement, Case Number 2026, KH. His caption sent chills down the industry's spine. The sun is singing like a canary, and I'm the conductor. I told you, tip, your retirement album, Kill the King, wasn't supposed to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. The crown is heavy when your own blood is helping me weigh it down. Hashtag surviving the Harris family, hashtag G-Unit investigates. This post effectively confirmed the rumors. King Harris has officially entered into a pact with his father's greatest rival to dismantle the grand hustle legacy. The hip-hop community is reeling. This isn't just a beef. It's a strategic assassination of T.I.'s 30-year career. Privilege versus perspective social media is a battlefield of hot takes. On one side, the I told you so crowd is having a field day. One viral tweet with over 800K likes reads, King Harris had every resource, every lawyer, and every private jet. He chose to play gangster, and now he's crying to the feds because he can't handle the heat. This isn't a struggle, it's a choice. Let him sit. But on TikTok, a massive wave of Gen Z fans is launching the hashtag Justice for King movement. They're circulating clips from old family hustle episodes, arguing that King was a victim of public performance parenting. One top influencer tearfully claimed, "We watched T.I. humiliate this boy for views for a decade." King isn't a criminal, he's a byproduct of a toxic, cameras-on environment. He's burning the house down because he was never safe inside it. The boozy bomb while the fans argue. The industry is terrified. T.I.'s peers are running for cover. Sources inside the Atlanta rap scene report that major artists are scrubbing their upcoming Kill the King features, fearing that any association with T.I. right now is a one-way ticket to a federal subpoena. Boozy Badass, never one to stay quiet, went on a 20-minute Instagram live rant that broke the internet. I love Tip, that's my brother. Boozy screamed to 100K viewers. But what King is doing? That's the ultimate violation. In the streets, your son is your soldier. If the soldier turns state witness, the whole army is dead. King Harris is opening a door that can never be closed. He's putting a target on every real one in Atlanta. Boozy's rage was a reflection of the industry's panic. If a son can flip on a father as powerful as T.I., no one is safe. The canceled contracts, the fallout is hitting the pockets too. Reports are circulating that major networks have indefinitely suspended all Harris family projects. The Spilled Bars music project? Put on ice. The reality TV spin-offs? Erased from the 2026 schedule. Tiny Harris is reportedly in a secluded medical facility dealing with the mental toll of her son's betrayal. Insiders say she hasn't stopped crying since the courtroom audio leaked, feeling caught between a husband who wants to silence the problem and a son who is ready to expose it all. The tension is so thick you can feel it through the screen. But as the world picks sides, a new, darker cliffhanger has emerged. A leaked CCTV still from the jail's intake center shows King Harris in a private room, not with a lawyer, but with an unidentified woman in a business suit holding a digital recorder. Is this the tell-all interview that will finally bury T.I.? And is it true that King has already handed over a hard drive of secrets to the 50 Cent camp? The digital timer on King's official page is still ticking, and when it hits 0, the industry might never be the same. While the world was busy watching the front door of the courthouse, King Harris was busy unlocking the back door to the entire Harris family vault. We've seen sons rebel, and we've seen families argue. But what King just did from inside his high-security cell isn't just a betrayal, it's a legacy execution. We have just received an exclusive, verified tip from a source deep within the Federal Bureau of Investigation that has turned this case from a bail hearing into a RICO investigation. The brothers' secret everyone assumed King was only coming for T.I. But the final, gut-wrenching twist is that King Harris has officially named his own brother, Domani Harris, as a primary co-conspirator. Yes, you heard that right. Domani, the son T.I. always called the quiet genius, the one who stayed out of the headlines and focused on the music, is now in the crosshairs. King has allegedly provided the feds with digital keys to a series of offshore crypto wallets that he claims Domani was managing to clean the grand hustle earnings. King's statement was brutal. Pops always said Domani was the smart one. Well, let's see how smart he is when he's explaining those ghost accounts to the Department of Justice. The 2009 archive, but that's not even the biggest bomb. The reason the judge denied bail so aggressively? It's because King Harris handed over a hard drive of archives that dates back to 2009, the year T.I. served his most famous federal sentence. King is claiming that he found a hidden log that proves T.I. didn't just serve time. He allegedly made a permanent deal with the government nearly 20 years ago to stay out of trouble, and King is now threatening to reveal every name T.I. supposedly gave up to keep his freedom. If this is true, T.I. isn't just a king. He's the biggest informant in hip-hop history, and King Harris is the one holding the receipts. The Harris family empire is currently in a state of total structural collapse. T.I. has reportedly gone dark, his location unknown to even his closest associates. Tiny is reportedly under suicide watch at a private clinic, broken by the fact that her favorite son is effectively trying to send his father and brother to prison for life. The 0-hour countdown as we speak, the countdown timer on King's official page is nearing 0. The rumors circulating in the industry are terrifying. They say that once that timer hits 0, a cloud-linked video will auto-publish across every major social media platform. This video is rumored to be a confession tape King recorded months ago, titled The Death of Grand Hustle. In it, he supposedly names the high-level Hollywood celebrities and Atlanta politicians who have been on the Harris payroll for years. Is King Harris really the snitch of the century? Or is he a young man so broken by his upbringing that he would rather see his father in a cage than live one more day in his shadow? The feds are reportedly moving in on the Harris estate as we film this. This isn't just news anymore, it's a national emergency. Wait, we just got a notification. King Harris's Instagram story just updated with a single image, a photo of a federal witness protection badge. Does this mean the deal is already signed? Is King Harris already gone? And who is the shadow figure seen leaving the jail with his legal files? The timer is at 1 minute and 59 seconds. 1 minute and 58 seconds, the world is about to change. Stay tuned, because in our next update, we are dropping the audio leaks that T.I. tried to pay $3 million to suppress. The king is dead, long live the truth. This is the most insane moment in the history of our channel, and we need to hear from you. Is King Harris a hero for exposing the truth, or is he the ultimate villain for betraying his own flesh and blood? Did T.I. create this monster, or was King just born with this energy? Smash the comment section right now. We are reading every single one, and we want to know whose side you're on. Hashtag Team Tip or hashtag Team King. If you want to be the first to see the confession tape when it drops in less than an hour, you must hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. We are the only ones with the inside track on this story, and things are moving faster than the news can keep up with. Like this video to show your support for the investigation, and share it with everyone you know, because the Harris Empire is falling, and you don't want to be the last one to know why. Stay tuned for the 0-hour update. We're out.